Hello there, friends. It's Ashley here from the Loopy Lamb and theloopylamb.com. And today I am here to talk about the Crochet Guild of America, or CGOA, Chain Link Conference. I just attended my first conference this year, and I got a lot of questions on social media about what was it like to attend, what can you expect? So I thought I'd share my experience here and on my blog. So that way, if this is something that you haven't heard about before, you can learn a bit more about it. Or if this is something you've considered attending in the past, but just were kind of sitting on the fence, then maybe I can help you make a decision as to whether or not you're wanting to go for the next conference. So if you're ready to get started, please hit that like button and please consider subscribing to this channel. And I'm going to get started right away. So if you are new to the channel or not already familiar with me, I am a Canadian, and the Crochet Guild of America obviously is not a Canadian institution, but that doesn't matter. You can be a member of the Crochet Guild of America even if you're not an American. And I have been sitting on the fence for a couple of years now about whether or not I wanted to attend the Chainlink conference. I had heard some really good things about it, but online it was really kind of tricky to find a lot of talk about the conference in order to kind of understand what I wanted, what I could expect. I found one blog post that had been written years ago, but nothing more recent. And then because of the COVID pandemic, the conference had been put on hold for a couple of years. So this year, 2022, was the first year that they have had the conference since COVID, and I was very fortunate enough to be able to attend. I was a little nervous about traveling with COVID, but I was determined that I was going to make it to the conference this year. So I'm going to share with you some of the benefits of attending the conference as well as my experiences while I was there. And one of the benefits that you can expect is that you can travel someplace new. The Crochet Guild of America's conference is every year. So they have a yearly conference, pandemics withstanding, and they move around the United States. This year's conference was held in New Orleans, Louisiana, and it is a place that I've always wanted to go. And because of the conference, I was able to travel there this year. It's not the most child-friendly destination, so I don't think I would have gotten there otherwise because I do have young children. So the conference is very busy. There's a lot going on all the time. However, in the evenings or even sometimes on your lunch hours, you can go and see the city that the conference is being held in. I specifically had set aside one day during the conference, and my friend and I had walked around the French Quarter. We went to Café du Monde. We got some beignets. I got to eat some of the most incredible food I've had in my entire life, and absolutely worth it. And if I had to do it all over again, I would probably schedule or book an extra day or two, either on the front end or the back end of my trip. So that way, those days are specifically dedicated to seeing the city. But with the time that I had, not having been before, I think that I did pretty well and got to see pretty much most of what I wanted to see anyways. Another benefit of attending the conference is that you get to meet new crochet friends. My friend Carol Hladek, who is a fellow designer, and I've been friends with her on Instagram for years. She surprised me and flew out to the conference so we could meet, and that was wonderful. And we got to spend the whole week together. And on top of that, we got to meet so many other amazing people that are as crazy about crochet as we are. So it's a really inclusive community, and although I'm a bit of an introvert when I go out to these kind of things, I didn't feel awkward or uncomfortable. And if somebody sees you sitting alone, they're going to come on over and they're going to compliment you on whatever you're crocheting or your crochet garment or whatever you've got, and they're going to strike up a conversation with you. So even if you weren't lucky enough to have somebody traveling with you to the event, you still are going to meet so many wonderful people that you're not going to be alone for long. There's also the opportunity to learn new things. The conference, besides the amazing opportunities to network and meet new people, offers the opportunity to learn some new things via their classes that they offer. Now, this year they had a really great offering of classes despite the fact that it was COVID and the attendance was lower than normal. And the CGOA employs world-class teachers. I was able to take some classes by Lily Chin, who I've been a big fan of for a long time, and getting to meet her in person was a huge highlight for my trip. And I know that there were other amazing designers teaching the classes as well. There was Andy Graves from Mama's Two Hands. There was Bonnie Barker from Bonnie Bay Crochet, Jennifer French from Celtic Knot, and Jessie Rayott from Jessie at Home and Showstopper Creations. There are so many incredibly talented teachers teaching these classes, and you're absolutely going to learn something. Even if you feel like you're confident in your skills for that class. I took the Chic Shapely Chevrons class by Lily Chin. And although I thought I was confident with, shaping chevrons, I still left that class going, oh my gosh, I learned so much. So it was a really, really great class. And there are lots of learning opportunities beyond that as well. Another opportunity to learn, but also to connect with people is the Ask the Experts. This year they had an event called Ask the Experts, and every day at lunchtime, they had crochet experts and professionals in the field available for you to just come and ask your questions. So you could come and sit down with your crochet project if you're stuck on something, or even if you didn't have a project, you just have a general question about crochet, you could go and sit down with one of those professionals and get it sorted and get some assistance. And that was really, really great. People were able to connect with bloggers and designers that they've only ever been able to connect with online or have only ever seen online before. And so that is probably my favorite thing about the Crochet Guild Chainlink Conference, is that it removes the barriers that technology brings to the table when networking in this community. And I'm going to get more into that a little later, but I really, really loved that about the conference, is that people I've only ever seen online, like say Bonnie Bay Crochet, love her YouTube channel. I was able to meet her in person and talk to her about how much I love her crochet cable designs. The other great reason to go to the conference is you could get inspired. So I was a little stressed out before my trip, and when I get stressed, I have a really hard time coming up with new ideas, essentially. So I went to the conference, I was having a great time, and everybody's wearing the most gorgeous crochet garments. People have bags and accessories, and if they can crochet it, they've done it and they're modeling it. So this is kind of a two-part benefit in that you get inspired, but you also get to show off your makes. I know there's one person who showed up and she had multiple different accessories throughout the day that she was constantly changing. I think I'd see her in one thing in the morning and she'd be wearing something different around lunchtime. So it's a great opportunity for you to show off your makes, and those can inspire others. Somebody there had a beautiful, beautiful dress that they had crocheted. Her name was Sherry. It was absolutely gorgeous, and I loved the stitch to design that she used, and that actually inspired me for a design that I'm going to be working on later. So you never know what's going to inspire you, and being surrounded by nonstop crocheting is a really great way to be inspired. So the next benefit of attending was the great swag. Everybody that attended got a swag bag. It was a large canvas Furls Crochet tote or Crochet Foundry tote, and it was filled with great stuff. There was clover hooks and tools. There was Furls Crochet yarn, like their Wander yarn. I know I'm going to forget everything, and I don't want to keep saying while I'm thinking about it, but the bag was filled with great stuff. And it was funny, you wait in line to get your swag bag after registration and everything, and people were just like pawing through the bags, and everyone's going ooh, and there was king coal yarn. There's a lot of great things in the swag bag, so that was really awesome as well. In line with that is that there's also a lot of giveaways and opportunities to win things. I don't consider myself a very lucky person. I don't win very many things. I mean, let's talk about luck. I lost my luggage on my way there. I arrived in New Orleans with no luggage. So I went the first couple of days with one outfit and desperately trying to find a place where I could buy some clothes to get me through the rest of the week. But there's a lot of opportunities to win. So in one of my classes, I won a Furls to Nation crochet hook. In another event, I won a hand-turned wooden yarn bowl. That was just stunning. And there's a great big raffle that's a fundraiser for the Crochet Guild of America, which is a not-for-profit organization run by volunteers, such as myself. And I entered the raffle just to support the organization, and a friend of mine put the tickets in for me, and I ended up winning the grand prize, which was so huge. Thankfully, I bought a suitcase because my suitcase was filled by the time I got it all in there, and I had to lay on top to zip it up. It was crazy. I was so blown away that I won. But there's more opportunities as well. At the end of the conference, there's a banquet, and Furls Crochet was incredibly generous the entire the banquet and the whole conference, and they gave away some great prizes and hooks to people who were in attendance. The next thing, which kind of lines up with the previous one, is that there is a great shopping opportunities. There is a marketplace in which you can go and connect with some yarn companies and different accessory companies, like Furls Crochet was there. There was Ashley Leather Co., which is another hook company. There were I think it's called 100 Ravens, and there was Chaos Fibers. These are yarn companies that were there. They produce gorgeous hand-dyed yarn. And it was really great to not just be able to connect with those people in person, but also to see and touch their products and try them. Like Furls Crochet had an opportunity where if you wanted to try their Wander yarn and or their crochet hooks, you could go and sit behind their table and you could sit there and test out their hooks, which was really great. And a lot of the vendors had exclusive either promotions or exclusive products that they were selling for the conference. For instance, Furls Crochet had these gorgeous, hopefully you can see it well, New Orleans inspired hooks. And I was able to get 2 of them. And these were a huge hit at the conference. And at the banquet, Furls Crochet actually gave one of these away to everybody in the audience, which just was amazing. So you can get those discounts and those exclusive opportunities for specific products at the conference as well. Now, at the conference is the Crochet Fashion Show, which was so much fun. So it's tied in with the banquet, and you get a great meal. You get to sit with your friends, and they have this fashion show where people come and show off their crochet makes. You have to register in advance, but most of the people who were up there were there was a mix of hobbyists and designers, and people were showing off their own projects. Some people wore other people's projects, but it was a lot of fun, and people got really into it. And probably one of the highlights of the trip, just because it was so much fun. The girls from Furls Crochet emceed the event, and as I had mentioned, they had tons of giveaways, and they just were really lively and a lot of fun. And I think they really helped to make the event just that much more fun. If you are a designer or an aspiring designer, they also have the professional development days in which you can attend classes from other crochet professionals and learn about different things to build your business. They also have the opportunity for a meet and greet with different editors from magazines and different publications, as well as yarn companies. So if you have an idea that you want to pitch, or you just want to start building that relationship with them, you can do that. However, I do want to add the caveat that the majority of the people that are in attendance of this conference are actually hobbyists. They are not designers. It is kind of like a mixed bag of who is attending. So I thought it was great that they have that opportunity. And I know that I spoke to a couple of aspiring designers who were really excited about this opportunity because it kind of just gives you that little bit of a kickstart if you're not sure where to get started in collaborating with different publications like that. So I think that was really awesome that they have that opportunity available. And last but not least, my absolute favorite part of the conference is the fact that you get to network and meet with so many other designers, and you become a part of an incredibly inclusive and welcoming community. Attending the conference gave me something that I have been struggling to find online, and that is that really strong sense of community. And as a designer, it can be a little lonely sometimes. You try to network with other people online and they either get busy or they're just not interested or they think you're competition. So it's really hard to make those connections online. But removing that barrier and connecting with real people in person was amazing. And when I came home, I was like, what? There's not people crocheting everywhere? Kids, why don't you have hooks in your hands? We need to talk about yarn. And because it's just nonstop crochet all the time at the conference. And it's if you ever wonder what it's like to just crochet all day, every day, and be surrounded by other yarnies, then you need to attend a conference because it was absolutely wonderful. And even as a Canadian, I found it was absolutely worth going, and I can't wait to go next year. It's they've got some potential locations bouncing around, and I'm hoping that they're closer to the Canadian border, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I don't care where they are. I'm going to attend. I made so many connections and some really great friends, and got to connect with people that, like I had said before, I'd only known online, and got to deepen the connection that we already had by meeting in person. So that to me is the absolute best part of the conference. And after 2.5 long years of COVID, it was something that just filled the need that I already felt, but didn't know how deeply I felt it until I went and felt a part of the community. If you're somebody had told me how wonderful it was, and I was like, well, let's see what it's like. And I went, and they were totally accurate. If you are on your own, or you just want to introduce yourself to somebody, you want to be a part of a group, you just go and you sit down, and they're going to welcome you. They're going to start talking to you about crochet, and pretty soon you're kind of just folded into that group, and it's like you've been friends forever. So many wonderful, wonderful people, and absolutely recommend going to the CGOA Chainlink Conference in 2023. So if you have any questions about the conference, I would love to answer them for you. Please leave them in the comment section below. I will do my best to help you. And if I can't get your questions answered, I can potentially check out the CGOA website for you and get the answers for you there. If you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, please hit that like button, and please consider subscribing to this channel. If you enjoy free crochet patterns, please check out my blog, theloopylamb.com. Thanks so much for watching, friends. Happy hooking, and I'll see you next time.